Good day, good day. This is Pastor Theo, and it is time for another mini midweek meal. This past Sunday was the first Sunday in Advent, and it focused on hope. And it is clear that our hope should be in our soon coming King, Jesus Christ. Unfortunately, for many of us, we put our hope in so many other things. We put our hope in our own intellect. We put our hope in our own power, in our own abilities, in other relationships, in our jobs, in so many other things. Whenever we are distressed, whenever we are in trouble, whenever we need motivation, we look to so many things. And unfortunately for us, all those things, they may temporarily satisfy or temporarily gratify, but they never are long lasting. And so we need to put our hope in the one who is everlasting. And we just read in the book of Colossians, as Apostle Paul was speaking about Jesus, he described him as being the expressed image of God. And when we look in that Greek, when it talks about the image, it's not simply saying that he is like God. It doesn't simply say that he is similar to God. It doesn't say that he has some God-like qualities. It talks about Jesus being the full and accurate embodiment of God. And it talks about two things, that he is the full and perfect representation, and he's the full and perfect manifestation. So anything that we need to know about God, we can know by simply studying Jesus Christ. When we think about what does God desire, what is God's purpose, how should we live in a life that's pleasing to God, we need only look to Jesus. I think about how we look to athletes, how we look to celebrities, because of their image, and we want to have an image similar to their image. But then, lo and behold, there's a scandal, or lo and behold, there's imperfections. But when we have our hope should be in the one who is perfect. Our hope should be in the one who is the image, the embodiment, the representation, and the full manifestation of God. And then we also learn that in him all things were created, and they were created for him. So we are who we are because of God. God created us. He has a purpose for us. And part of that purpose is that we would glorify him. So what it lets us know is he's not only the one who created us, he's also the one who we're supposed to be pleasing to. So when we think about doing whatever it is that we want to do, we should always ask ourselves, is what I'm doing pleasing to the Lord? That's not a question you would ask if we were under the impression that our lives belong to us, that we created ourselves, that we are self-made anything. We're not self-made. We are made by the one who was unmade. We read that Jesus was the firstborn of all creation. And that doesn't mean that he was created and then later on we were created. He was the uncreated creator, the unbegan beginning. Before time, there was him. And we all come after him. And then finally we read that in him all things consist. And that consist can mean exist as well as subsist, as in we are created by him and he also maintains us. And as long as we stay in him, we stay in order. But anytime we get outside of who he is, we're going to have disorder. We're going to be out of order. So this challenge for this mini midweek meal is very simple. Let us put our hope in the one who is everlasting, the one who is unchanging. not in these other things that change, not in these things that come and go. These things are here one day and gone tomorrow. No, let us put our hope in the eternal Christ. He is the image of God. He is the perfect representation and the perfect manifestation. And for those who are called to be Christ followers, we're called to now be representatives of who he is. So when people see us, they should be able to see Christ. We should be his representative. We should be his mouthpiece. And we also read that he is the head of the body. He is the one who is preeminent. He's the authority. He's the standard. He's the numero uno. And as long as we live our lives according to those things, we're going to be all right. But the moment we start to think that we're the head, the moment we start to think that we're the image, the moment we start to think that we're preeminent, that is when we get into trouble. So let's just make sure we're focusing and keep my eyes on him. He is the only one to follow. Once again, it's been Pastor Theo with this mini midweek meal. And I know a lot of us are still full from Thanksgiving, but there's always room for God's word. Take care, and God bless.